evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news updates, debates and my opinions. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're on the way to 12,800 subscribers. And of course, if you could click the like button, I would be incredibly grateful. Monday is done. And there are more Arsenal injuries, so that's fantastic. We'll get into them. I hope you're all doing very well. There is plenty to get into. Now, we're on the home stretch of the international break. You know, it's almost like a normal week at the end of the week, Arsenal play football. So we're nearly there. But it is good to see plenty of you here. Pekka, Vivi Vlad, Lord Ferguson of Aberdeen, Layla, Junior Films, Icarus, Lieber, Oslo Guna, Matthew, Woodsy, Hyper, Cullen, Ethan Udall, Saka the Goat, Tom McFadden, Philip, Unknown, Anu Barata, Hannah, and Ross Lawman's here, and Manny's here, and Devin's here as well. So it is good to see you, and many, many more. But yeah, we'll start with, and do you know what? I'll hold my hands up. I was 1 minute late. You always tell me off for being late. Normally, I'm not. I was 1 minute late. Kayembe from Namibia. Hello from, I'm going to butcher that, Windhoek, Namibia. You love to see it. What a place. I was a minute late. Do you know why? I'd prepared the stream. We were all ready. The information was here. The thumbnail was made. And then, as I was eating my dinner, we found out that Tomiyasu's injured again, potentially. So this is coming from Team Talk. Sources have confirmed to Team Talk that Arsenal are seriously concerned that Takahiro Tomiyasu has suffered a reoccurrence of his knee problem in his short appearance against Southampton and could now be out of action for another month. It's not his fault, okay? I want to make it absolutely clear. It is not his fault. But it is a massive problem. It is a massive problem. To the point where we've got to move on from him. We've got to move on. You cannot have a squad player that is never available. The whole purpose of a squad player is that when required, they can fill in. And we have a big issue at the moment where our squad players are less reliable than our starting players. He played 6 minutes. He played 6 minutes against Southampton. Now, maybe he wasn't ready. Maybe he wasn't ready. And maybe the reason he was there was because Timber and Ben White were both absent. But it's just not tenable at this point. Like, you know, I was looking through his Arsenal history. He's never played more than 22 games in the Premier League for Arsenal in a season. He's never made more than 22 Premier League appearances. Last season, he played just over 1,000 minutes in the Prem. Season before that, he played like 600 and something minutes. And if we were kind of giving him time to see if the injury problems were going to get better, if anything, they've actually just continued to get worse. Like, it's worse now than it was previously. So we don't really even know what his knee injury is, what his knee problem is. Obviously, he originally did his knee in that game against Sporting, in the same game that we lost Saliba in. It was then that knee that he did again at the start of pre-season and has kept him out until the Southampton game. And apparently it's that again now. Mad that we have 7 fullbacks at the club and we might need one more. Yes, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But you've got Tomiyasu, Zinchenko and Kieran Tierney all at the club, all who just relentlessly injure themselves. I hate this because I absolutely love Tommy. Well, that's the thing. Like, we all do, right? And, you know, he's a footballer. He wants to play football. You know, he's not doing this deliberately. It's you know, so you can't. It's one of those ones. You can't be mad at him, but it is very, very frustrating that this has happened again. And so now you are relying on Timber and Ben White, or at least one of them, being fit straight after the international break. Now, we don't actually know how those two are getting on. We've not had an update, obviously, from Arteta since before the international break. But yeah, it's just frustrating. And that month, I mean, if he's out for a month, if he's out for another month, well, that basically takes him up to the next international break again. So he'll miss this entire block up until the next international break. And then maybe he comes back after that. But it is untenable. The source is Team Talk. Now, to be honest, Team Talk, generally speaking, I wouldn't consider a great source, especially when it comes to transfers. I wouldn't consider them a great source, but it would be a very weird thing for them to make up. It's not like a transfer rumor. It's not even one of our big starting players. It would be a very peculiar thing for an outlet to make up to suddenly, say that your third choice right back's going to miss another month, which makes me think it is probably legitimate. So yeah, look, time will tell. I suppose we'll hear from Arteta on Friday during his press conference. But yeah, from what I can tell, it seems like it's probably true. Did you see the Saliba tackle in France training? What, the one where he got up and celebrated? Have you seen any of Have you seen any of that about Ronaldo being linked to Wrexham by the Mirror? No, I've not seen that at all. I've not seen that. Something must be fundamentally wrong to re-injure yourself in just 6 minutes. Either he was rushed back or didn't warm up properly. Yeah, I've got no idea. I mean, there was nothing visible. Like, I don't remember seeing a moment in that game where I thought Tomiyasu had injured himself. But yeah, I'm not sure. Ali, thank you very, very much for the $5 super chat. There's no chat with it. Ali is just gifted $5, which is incredibly generous, Ali. So thank you very, very much. Ali, of course, from Tifo. What a go. Sorry, big up. I need to stop doing that. I vaguely remember watching a podcast with Ben Foster, and he mentioned it isn't all bad luck. The players do shoulder some responsibility in how they take care of themselves or not. That is true. That is true. I was ready to give up on Partey. That gives me hope with Tommy. Yeah, but how much time? Like, how, it gets to the point where I just don't think you can keep holding out hope for something that just isn't going to happen. As Jonathan says, some players are just injury prone, and you get a player and they get injured a couple of times and you hope that they're not injury prone. But with Tomiyasu, it just, he keeps proving that he is. I had to fact check it on the Mirror website and it's legit. Interesting. I'll read about that afterwards because I haven't seen any of it. Weird that it's been reported 8 days after the Southampton game. Yes and no. Like, presumably there haven't been many journalists watching our training or whatever. I would, it's the sort of thing that the club presumably would just try and keep quiet. So I'm not sure. Also, realistically, even if he is fully fit, he's never going to be first choice. I think we have to move on. Yeah, I agree. Look, before the season even started, I was happy to move on from Tomiyasu anyway. But if we were to sell him, we wouldn't get much. No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't get much for Tomiyasu at all at this point because everyone knows they're buying an injury-prone player. Yes, I knew the Odegaard news was fake. Yeah, look, we don't. The good news is, supposedly, the in the know that said that Martin Odegaard had suffered a setback and that he wasn't going to be back until December. It seems like they were wrong. Team News and Ticks ended up coming out and saying it was wrong. Like, to be honest, his reliability at this point is questionable. But then Sky came out and said Martin Odegaard is still on track with his recovery. He's expected to be back at the end of November, and there has not been a setback, which is good. Did we train much this past week? Didn't see anything on socials. I assume, they would have been training. They would have been training because there's an entire squad of players that haven't gone on the international break. So they will have been doing work. But yeah, it's not, because it's not in the build up to a game. I think it's pretty. I don't know. I just don't think that they would have. Team Talk would have made up that he was injured. Why is Team News and Ticks not totally reliable? He just hasn't been recently, to be honest. Over the summer, the majority of the transfer stuff he got wrong. He's just struggled since he went behind a paywall as well. People misquote him. People make things up that he said. So basically, to actually explain to you what happened on Twitter on was it Friday or maybe Saturday? So there was this in the know that claimed that Martin Odegaard had a setback, right? So another Twitter account then basically made up a quote from Team News and Ticks. So they then tweeted, Martin Odegaard has not suffered a setback, according to Team News and Ticks. At that point, Team News and Ticks hadn't said anything, not on his Patreon, nowhere. So Team News and Ticks then started replying to people and quoting people on Twitter saying, I've never said this. Basically saying the idea that he had said that Martin Odegaard hadn't suffered a setback, that he hadn't said that. But then like a few hours later, he did actually say that. Because it's all on his Patreon, no one sees it. Or, well, a handful of people see it. But that's the issue with going behind a paywall, is that people will make things up, people will misquote you, and so it's very difficult to tell. Yeah, then also Scott Willis did an investigation and came to the number 9%. So Scott Willis did some sort of investigation where he said that of everything that Team News and Ticks said, 9% of it was actually true. So yeah, I just think, yeah, maybe sticking away from some of those in the nose, especially when it comes to things like injuries. Thoughts on Neymar to Arsenal? Not going to happen. Don't particularly want it to happen. But yeah, so according to Sky at least, and the thing is, I don't think, even if it had been December, I don't think that would have necessarily been a setback. It might just have been that the recovery was taking a bit longer than they had hoped it would. Hard to get any leaks from the club these days. Arteta tightened the ship. I love it. Exactly. I'm not sure anyone can get anything out of the club anymore. Like, it is watertight. So I don't particularly trust anyone at this point. Unless it's just like with the Tomiyasu thing, just a very weird thing to make up. I don't think Neymar's got the work rate in him anymore. No, he's also getting quite old. He's been out for 12 months. And you don't know what his knee's going to be like after that injury. So, not for me. To be fair, all the media in the no accounts are just so poor these days. Can't stand the Athletic reports. Actually, cancelled subscription to it. Yeah, the Athletic's gone downhill. To be fair, they have gone downhill. Martinelli's injury. Arsenal staff in contact with Brazil as Gabriel Martinelli felt pain in his right calf and underwent an MRI scan on Sunday. The Brazilian FA, whatever they are, confirmed that there is a small muscle edema in the area and he is undergoing treatment. He is expected to miss the game with Peru. So Martinelli, some sort of issue. Some people were saying it was the tendon. Some people are saying it's at the bottom of his calf. Either way, he's likely to miss the Peru game, which is in the early hours of Wednesday morning. For me, so I don't think this is a particularly big deal. From what I can tell, like, most footballers go through this sort of thing somewhere. It's the sort of thing you can play through. I don't understand why he's not coming back from Brazil today. I don't understand, because Brazil's game is the latest game of any international team in the international break. If he's not going to play in that game, for the life of me, I can't understand why he wouldn't be on a plane home today, which I think is quite frustrating. So I don't think it's a big injury. I think he may well still be perfectly fine to play against Bournemouth. Truthfully, it may be similar to Bukayo Saka, that he has felt something and been like, do you know what? Better not risk it. So I don't think it's going to be a big thing for Martinelli. But yeah, I would really rather he just came back to Arsenal to deal with it, to be honest. It's frustrating that he isn't flying straight home. Now he's out of the... Yeah, exactly. Think all Brazilians come back on one flight to London? Cost for the Brazilian FA? I'm sure if Arsenal wanted to put him on a commercial flight in first class or something, we could do it. I'm sure there is a way to get him back. No need to risk it v Bournemouth with Sterling and Trossard. Rest him for Bournemouth and Shakhtar and get him fully fit for Liverpool, where he'll have a big role. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Skelly to replace Tomiyasu? Yeah, I would say so. Maybe he has family opportunities in Brazil. Maybe. I don't really... Well, is that our problem? Like, I'd rather he just came home. Brazilian players and their country is just different. The Nigerian national team stuff was insane. Yeah, if you've not seen that, by the way, I'm glad we haven't got any Nigerian players. Not in the sense that I don't like Nigerian players, but in the sense that the Nigerian national team spent 20 hours with no food, no drink, nowhere to sleep in an abandoned airport. So if you know, so for example, Victor Boniface at Bayer Leverkusen, he's going back to Bayer Leverkusen having spent 20 hours with no food or water or sleep or anything. How come they said they had no signal when they posted on Twitter? I did wonder that. One of them claimed that they had no phone signal, but was then tweeting, which slightly confused me. Someone's going to clip that out of context. Rory gates Nigerians. I think you mean hate. But no, I don't. Absolutely not. I'm just glad that none of our players have been stuck in an airport for 20 hours. Just get the bloke a private jet. He's a footballer. Yeah, exactly. Which signing do you think is more likely to happen, Musiala or Wirtz? Musiala, actually. Neither of them will happen. But is Gyökeres or Sesko more likely? Sesko's more likely. I would say Sesko is more likely than Gyökeres based on age. His age profile is more what I think Arsenal are likely to go for, given that we already have Kai Havertz. And also the fact that we have fully sounded out that deal already. You know, we were ready to make that purchase already. So I think Sesko is more likely than Gyökeres, but who knows? I remember Alba sleeping on the floor in an abandoned airport once on international duty. Nothing as bad as that Togo bus getting shot up in the air by Ordes. Yeah, true. That is true. I forgot about that Togo bus. But yeah, you're right. That wasn't ideal either. Did you see the rumours about Pep potentially taking over from Carsley? I did. We can dream. Saka, the latest on Bukayo Saka. Arsenal are cautiously optimistic that Saka will be fit to face Bournemouth, but he will be assessed by the close medical staff this week. So, yeah, it's Lee Carsley said that Bukayo Saka could potentially have been fit to play against Finland, but that they didn't want to risk it, so they sent Saka back to Arsenal. And on that basis, Arsenal are cautiously optimistic that he will be fit to face Bournemouth. So, if he is fit to face Bournemouth, bravo for taking yourself off of that game and making sure that you didn't go to Finland. Declan Rice obviously scored yesterday, and he got through that game without picking up an injury, so that was good. Palmer looked awful playing right wing, and the other day, it's mad how good a job Saka does. I know. But the thing is, like, you take Saka out of the England team, you can immediately see what you're missing, and yet people still don't seem to be able to see it. It's crazy. Imagine Ten Hag to England. Christ. No, thank you. No. But Pep to England, I mean, it's a win-win. As an English Arsenal fan, at least, it's a win-win. England get Pep, who is the best manager in the world, and Man City lose Pep. I mean, that is sensational. Incoming Saka hate and racist abuse for being available against Bournemouth. Yeah, I've already seen it in my comments on TikTok. It's crazy. Did you see what Fabregas said about Palmer versus Saka? It was a lie. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Fabregas did not say that Palmer wouldn't get into another Big Six team. He didn't say it. Fabregas even had to tweet himself that he didn't say those things. I've stopped engaging in Saka debates. We know how good he is. We do. Heath is a good cut manager. I think it would work. No. Absolutely, categorically not. I'd rather bring back Southgate. If it was Southgate or Ten Hag, I'd bring back Southgate. Start, bench, sell, Musiala, Wirtz, Xavi, Simons, Olmo. Well, there's 4 players there for starters. So, but I would start Musiala, bench Wirtz, and sell Simons and Olmo. Is what I would do. Chelsea fans cool. Oh, Palmer, world class. Saliba and Trossard both starting tonight. Oh yeah, I hadn't seen that actually. Let's have a look. So the games tonight, yeah, Calafiori is starting against Israel, and France, Belgium, Saliba starts, and Trossard starts. So there you go. They're all starting. They are all starting tonight, which is fine. It was to be expected. They've all got short journeys home. So fingers crossed they can all make it through without injury. By the way, if you've not already clicked the like button, if you could just click the like button for me, that would be fantastic. Perez has to clarify his comments on Saka. Wright got shadow banned for suggesting Saka at left back. Arsenal fans come for you when you touch Saka. Yeah. Joral Hato starts for Netherlands. Nice. Arsenal are making a new contract for Saliba to try and stop Real Madrid. So this is one of those ones. So we were already going to be in negotiations with Saliba this season about a new contract. That was always going to be the case. So like this year, Saliba and Saka, both of their contracts will be negotiated. Like tying it back to that ridiculous story about Real Madrid, it's not to. I don't think it's to do with Real Madrid. I think this whole Real Madrid thing is just scaremongering. Hoping for another Saliba stinker and Konate worldie to show Madrid who the elite defender is. Yeah, absolutely. Brazil play tomorrow or today. Definitely tomorrow. Technically Wednesday morning by our time. So, yeah. Basically, it's Tuesday evening where they're playing, but that is Wednesday morning in the UK. So they play at like 2 a.m. on Wednesday morning. What do you think Saliba will be demanding a week? 300k? Probably like 250. Maybe 300. I'm not sure. 300 would be a lot, but if Saka and Martinelli aren't available for Bournemouth, do you think we finally see Nwaneri start? Nope. If Saka and Martinelli are both unavailable for Bournemouth, I think it would end up being Trossard on the left and Sterling on the right. Personally. Although, actually, you might be right, because then you might see Nwaneri in midfield. Yeah, you might be right, actually. Because then you could... Because, yeah, if Trossard's playing on the left, you could see him in midfield. Yeah. Maybe. I'd like that. Do you think Odegaard will be fit for the Liverpool game? No. When's the Liverpool game? No, definitely not. No. Martin Odegaard probably isn't going to be back until after the next international break. I don't think people are aware of, like, they're talking end of November. So, given that there's an international break between the 10th of November and the 23rd of November, I don't think we see him until the 23rd at best, which is at home to Nottingham Forest. To be honest, I think he's going to miss this batch. So this batch of 7 games, well, I'll just bring it up, it's easier. This batch of 7 games that we've got coming up next, this is the batch of 7. I think he'll miss all of these. So 5 away games within that as well, which is pretty rough. This little section's not ideal. But yeah, so many international breaks, joke. Yeah, the good thing is after this one, there's not another one then for like 4 months. But yeah. What's your thoughts on Benjamin Mendy's allegations about his City teammates? Well, I think it was kind of known. It was kind of already known. So if you're not aware, Benjamin Mendy is currently taken Man City to court because he's demanding £11 million from them in unpaid wages and bonuses. Because when he was arrested, they suspended him and then never renewed his contract after that without pay. So there was basically, they withheld 11 million quid from him. And he was never found guilty. So obviously he's at a tribunal saying, well, you know, like, you suspended me, but I didn't do anything wrong. Now, I think he was in prison. I think he was held in prison, right? Um, Either way, he's now airing the kind of dirty laundry about the whole situation. So he said in the tribunal, he was like, other Man City players, first team players, including the club captain, were at these parties with me. They were drinking alcohol with me. They had casual relationships with women. We all broke the COVID rules, etc., etc. Did Mendy get off then? Yeah, Mendy got off. Mendy never got found guilty. And so, yeah, he's saying that, look, you know, you had no right to suspend me from my job, and you need to pay me, which is pretty crazy. Will you watch Gyökeres versus Hine in 45 minutes? I'll try, yeah. I will try. Can Hine keep a clean sheet against Gyökeres? That would be impressive. Would you take Ondrik in Jan? It'd be expensive. It would be expensive. Mendy lost it all. Yeah, Mendy said at one point, he couldn't even afford to pay his childcare or his whatever it is, child support. He said that Mahrez, Sterling, and Bernardo Silva all lent him money so that he could afford to pay his childcare. Did you hear Neymar says if Vinny Jr. wins the Ballon d'Or, he deserves it more than anyone? As in, Vinny wins it more than anyone, or deserves it more than anyone, or Neymar deserves it more than anyone? Imagine this came out about Arsenal players, it would be front page news, but because it's City, the media won't cover it as much. Yeah, possibly. But again, I do think a lot of it was kind of already known. Like, it was known that Jack Grealish, for example, used to go to those parties. This year. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Vinny does deserve to win it. Like, it's Real Madrid. It's the Real Madrid PR, right? It's the Real Madrid PR. But what can you do? But yeah, so these 7 games, what are we thinking? What are we thinking for these 7 games? Let me move that. Bournemouth away, we should win. Evening kickoff on a Saturday, meh. We should win it. Shakhtar at home, we should win. Arsenal at home to Liverpool, tough game. Tough game. Although Liverpool have a tougher build up to it. Obviously, they've got no Alisson. Is that true? Are they without McAllister? Is that real? I didn't know McAllister was injured till early November. Because that is big. If they're missing McAllister as well, that's big. But yeah, because they've got Chelsea and then they've got Leipzig away in the week. So they've got a little bit of a trickier build up to it than we do. Does anyone know if that's true? I think 10 out of 12 points in the Prem, winning the Carabao Cup, and 3 out of 6 points in the UCL, loss at Inter. So I think, oh, what the hell? I think win. I don't know if McAllister's out, I think we win that as well. He went off in Argentina's last game. Damn. If that's true, then that would be useful. Preston away win. Newcastle away. Now, that is a tough game. St. James's Park, lunchtime kickoff on a Saturday. But I think we can grind out a win. Inter away draw. Chelsea away win. I think we'll set up against Chelsea in a way that I don't think they can handle very well. Because I think we'll go away to Chelsea this time and playing quite a low block. I think we'll go there playing quite a low block and I don't think we'll beat them. So I think we're going to get 3 wins and a draw in the Premier League, a win and a draw in the Champions League, and a win in the Carabao Cup. McAllister is fit. Just Googled it. Fair. Play similar against them to how we did against Spurs away. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. Which I think will be fine. So yeah, but look, it's a tough little, it's a tough little section. And then obviously we come back from that international break, and then it's just relentless after that. It is relentless. So yeah, a lot of big games coming up. We need as many players to be as fit as possible. Playing Preston away will help us against Newcastle, as we can rest players for Preston. Who do Newcastle? Oh yeah, don't Newcastle have a difficult game that midweek as well? Actually, because Newcastle will have their own Carabao. Yeah, Newcastle have got Chelsea, so yeah, that is useful actually. Newcastle will have to go all out against Chelsea in midweek, and then Chelsea, their fixtures before we play them are away at United, but then they got a home game on the Thursday against bloody Noah. Who is Noah? Who the hell is Noah? Do you know her? Yeah, FC Noah. No idea. They're from Armenia. Wow. They're sixth. They're sixth out of 11 teams in the Armenian League. Okay. Well, fair play. Fair play. Yeah. No, it's not the Greek League. It's not the Greek League. It's the bloody Armenian Premier League. We played at Spurs that way because we played with two unks in midfield. We can leave space between the midfield and defence and attack with Marino and Rice. To an extent, yeah, but I still think it will be safe, and I still think it'll be safer to play relatively defensively. Because I think that's what Chelsea will struggle against. Like, playing a high line against Chelsea, it's almost just an unnecessary risk. It is almost an unnecessary risk playing a high line against Chelsea. Because they are, like, look, Chelsea are improved this season, and clearly, against a high line on a counter-attack, they are very good. They have a lot of pace. They have very good transitional forwards. If you can avoid taking that risk against them, you may as well. Sportcat says Noah a class, to be fair. Timber and Calla against Liverpool. Hopefully. I'm hoping Timber and Ben White are going to be back. Because with that Tomiyasu news, it's pretty important. It is pretty important. Do you think a Rice, Partey, Marino midfield could work? It could. I worry it would be a bit stodgy. Presumably, you'd have Marino kind of playing Odegaard's role. And he is creative. It could definitely work. I just don't know if we will do that. But yeah, it could work. It could work. It's the way we play. It's our press, and we're just flat out better. We are. Preston could be a potential banana skin. I would hope not. Who plays right back if Timber White and Tomiyasu are all out? Thomas Partey again, I assume. Basically, we did that against Southampton, so I assume it would be Partey again. Interested to see how strong Mikel goes for Preston. He'll go fairly strong because we haven't got that many. It'll be stronger than Bolton. It will be a bit stronger than Bolton. But it won't be crazy. Would you play Timber at left back against Salah? No, I'd play Calafiori. I back Calafiori's defensive ability. I know some people don't, but I do. I'd play and I don't think we're in the position now. Even that, a couple of years ago we played Tomiyasu at left back just to deal with Salah, and that was the position that our team was in at that point, where we had to focus on that. Matt, I want to play Calafiori for what he offers going forwards. I want to play front foot. I want to play front foot against Liverpool. So I'd be happy with Calafiori playing left back against him. He's not as fast as the wingers. No, Salah isn't he's not that quick. And in terms of Salah cutting inside onto his left foot, that kind of suits Calafiori as a centre back. He's kind of used to that, so doesn't bother me. Is Odegaard back for any of those games? No, I don't think so. I'm expecting Odegaard to be back after the next international break, which would mean he would miss all of those games. Anyway, look, it is time for Guess the Goal Scorer. I'm going to give you all of the information about an Arsenal goal, and you have to guess who scored it in the chat, who scored it, and the team that they scored it against. First person to get it right, of course, wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community. So get your fingers on your keyboards, because we are starting now. This goal was scored with the right foot. It was scored with the right foot. It was assisted by Bukayo Saka. It was in the 96th minute. It was at the Emirates in a 3-1 Arsenal win in September 2023. Right-footed goal assisted by Bukayo Saka in the 96th minute at the Emirates in a 3-1 win in September 2023. Who was it? Dun, 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 dun. And the first person to get it right was Carter. It was Carter. It was indeed Declan Rice versus Manchester United. And Carter was correct first. James was second. George was third. John was fourth. And Jakob was fifth. But Carter, well done. Very well done to Carter. That Declan Rice goal, honestly, one of my favourite goals just in forever. Like, the celebrations for that goal, those limbs were spectacular. Sensational. Just because of the whole, like, Garnacho scoring at one end, it getting ruled out, and then that moment. It was so good. There we go. VAR from VV Vlad. Goal given. Fantastic. You sneaky bastards swerving us with the 3-1 clue. What do you mean? Was it not 3-1? Was it not a 3-1 win? He's still crying about that. Yeah, he still cries about that offside, even to this day. To this day. Honestly, when he leaves, he'll still be talking about it. Anyway, it is now time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the Rory Talks Football community, but not as much respect as Carter currently has. It was, but it was the second goal. Yeah, it was. That is true. This player started their career at FC Basel. They started their career at FC Basel. They went to FC Schalke. They went to Sevilla. They went to Barcelona. They went to Sevilla again. They went to Al-Shabaab. And they are now at Hajduk Split. Basel, Schalke, Sevilla, Barcelona, Sevilla, Al-Shabaab, Hajduk Split. Who is the player? Who is the player? The first person to get it right was James Salder. It was indeed Ivan Rakitic. James, congratulations. Second in Guess the Goal Scorer and first in Guess the Non-Gooner. Nid was second. Osama was third. Ross was fourth. And George Christodoulou was fifth. I was going to be first and my autocorrect bent me over. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. But there we go. Congratulations to Carter and to James. Look, that is going to be the end of the stream. We will be live on Twitch later, of course, continuing Waneri to glory. Calafiori, we still need to do his upgrades tonight. So I hope to see as many of you there as possible. Link is down in the description. Otherwise, we will be back tomorrow live on here. Assuming that there's some news to talk about, I'm sure there will be. And we start preparing for the return of the Premier League. Finally, it's been a week, but it's felt like a lot longer. So look, I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic evening. Please do like, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will see you tonight. or tomorrow. Goodbye.